Venus, the deadliest planet in our solar system. Venus, often referred to as Earth's twin due to its similar size and mass, is anything but a hospitable world. In fact, it is the most extreme and deadly planet in our solar system. With scorching temperatures, a crushing atmosphere, and toxic acid clouds, Venus presents a nightmarish environment that makes it completely uninhabitable for humans and extremely challenging even for robotic spacecraft to explore. In this extended script, we'll take a comprehensive look at what makes Venus such a dangerous world, whether life could ever exist there, and why humans will likely never be able to settle on this planet. Extreme heat. A fiery hellscape. Venus holds the record for the hottest surface in the solar system, even surpassing Mercury, which is closer to the Sun. The average temperature on Venus is a staggering 467 degrees Celsius, 878 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead. This extreme heat is the result of a runaway greenhouse effect caused by Venus' thick atmosphere, which traps heat and prevents it from escaping. The surface is so hot that rocks glow red, and any spacecraft attempting to land there will quickly overheat and fail. The greenhouse effect on Venus is a cautionary tale for Earth. While Earth's atmosphere contains a small amount of greenhouse gases that help maintain a livable temperature, Venus' atmosphere is composed of over 96% carbon dioxide, a potent greenhouse gas. This dense atmosphere traps solar radiation, creating a feedback loop that has turned Venus into a fiery furnace. The heat is so intense that it would vaporize any organic material almost instantly, making the surface completely uninhabitable. Interestingly, Venus' surface temperature is remarkably uniform. Unlike Earth, where temperatures vary significantly between day and night or between the equator and poles, Venus' thick atmosphere distributes heat evenly across the planet. This means that whether you're on the day side, the night side, or at the poles, the temperature remains consistently scorching. Crushing atmospheric pressure. If the heat alone wasn't enough to make Venus unlivable, the planet's atmospheric pressure is another deadly factor. The pressure at the surface is 92 times greater than Earth's, equivalent to the pressure experienced 1,000 meters, 3,280 feet, underwater on Earth. This immense pressure would instantly crush any unprotected human or fragile spacecraft attempting to land. To put this into perspective, the pressure on Venus is comparable to being at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of Earth's oceans. Even the most advanced landers sent to Venus, such as the Soviet Venera probes, only lasted a short time before being destroyed. The longest-lasting probe, Venera 13, survived for just 127 minutes before being crushed and melted by the planet's extreme conditions. The high pressure also affects the planet's geology. Venus' surface is dominated by vast plains of solidified lava, punctuated by towering volcanoes and rugged highlands. The pressure prevents the formation of tectonic plates, which means Venus lacks the plate tectonics that shape Earth's surface. Instead, the planet's crust is a single, unbroken shell that periodically undergoes massive volcanic resurfacing events. These events can cover large portions of the planet's surface with fresh lava, erasing any evidence of older geological features. Toxic atmosphere. A deadly chemical cocktail. Venus' atmosphere is primarily composed of carbon dioxide, over 96%, with thick clouds of sulfuric acid. These clouds are highly reflective, making Venus appear as a bright, featureless disk from Earth. However, beneath these clouds lies a world of extreme toxicity. Sulfuric acid is highly corrosive and would destroy any unprotected spacecraft or technology over time. The clouds of Venus are not just made of sulfuric acid. They also contain traces of other corrosive compounds, such as hydrochloric acid and hydrofluoric acid. These chemicals would eat away at any material exposed to them, making long-term exploration of Venus' atmosphere a significant challenge. Even the most durable materials used in spacecraft construction would eventually succumb to the corrosive effects of Venus' atmosphere. Humans attempting to breathe on Venus wouldn't just suffocate due to the lack of oxygen. They would also be exposed to deadly chemicals that would burn their lungs and skin. The combination of extreme heat, crushing pressure, and toxic gases makes Venus one of the most inhospitable places in the solar system. Interestingly, the upper atmosphere of Venus, about 50 kilometers, 31 miles, above the surface, is somewhat more hospitable. Here, the temperature and pressure are closer to Earth's, and some scientists have speculated that microbial life could potentially survive in this region. However, the presence of sulfuric acid and other corrosive chemicals still makes this a challenging environment for any form of life. Runaway greenhouse effect. The planet that became an oven. Venus wasn't always the hellish world we see today. Scientists believe that billions of years ago, Venus may have had oceans and could have been more Earth-like. However, due to intense volcanic activity and the buildup of greenhouse gases, Venus experienced a runaway greenhouse effect. This process trapped heat in the atmosphere, eventually evaporating all surface water and turning the planet into the hellscape we see today. The runaway greenhouse effect on Venus serves as a stark warning for Earth. As human activities continue to release greenhouse gases into Earth's atmosphere, there is a risk that our planet could experience a similar, though less extreme, version of this process. Studying Venus helps scientists understand the delicate balance that makes Earth habitable and the potential consequences of disrupting that balance. One of the key differences between Venus and Earth is the presence of water. On Earth, water plays a crucial role in regulating the climate by absorbing and releasing heat. On Venus, the lack of water means there is no such regulation, allowing temperatures to soar unchecked. This highlights the importance of preserving Earth's water resources and maintaining a stable climate. Lack of water. A dry and lifeless world. Unlike Earth, which has an abundance of liquid water, Venus is extremely dry. Any water that once existed on the surface boiled away due to the extreme heat. Today, the small amounts of water vapor found in Venus' atmosphere are rapidly broken apart by solar radiation. This lack of water makes it nearly impossible for life as we know it to exist. Water is essential for life as we know it, and its absence on Venus is one of the key reasons the planet is considered lifeless. Without water, there can be no oceans, no rivers, and no rain. Just a barren, rocky surface baked by the relentless heat of the sun. The lack of water also means that Venus has no weather systems like those on Earth. While Venus does have winds that can reach speeds of up to 360 kilometers per hour, 224 miles per hour, in the upper atmosphere, these winds are driven by the planet's extreme heat and pressure rather than by the movement of water vapor. This results in a chaotic and unpredictable atmosphere that further complicates any attempts to explore the planet. Spacecraft survival. Short-lived missions. No spacecraft sent to Venus has survived for long. Here's a quick look at some of the key missions. Venera 7, 1971 spacecraft to land on Venus and transmit data, lasted 23 minutes. Venera 13, 1982 took the first color images of Venus' surface, lasted 127 minutes. Pioneer Venus, 1978 mapped Venus atmosphere, but couldn't survive long on the surface. Magellan Mission, 1990s mapped Venus surface using radar from orbit, avoiding the deadly surface altogether. These missions have provided valuable data about Venus, but they also highlight the immense challenges of exploring the planet. The combination of extreme heat, crushing pressure, and corrosive atmosphere makes Venus one of the most difficult places in the solar system to study. One of the most remarkable achievements in Venus exploration was the Venera 13 mission, which not only survived for over 2 hours on the surface, but also sent back the first color images of Venus' rocky terrain. These images revealed a landscape dominated by flat, rocky plains and scattered boulders, with a sky that appeared orange due to the scattering of sunlight by the thick atmosphere. Could life exist on Venus? For a long time, Venus was considered a completely lifeless planet. However, in 2020, scientists detected phosphine gas in Venus' upper atmosphere, a chemical that, on Earth, is typically produced by biological processes. This led to speculation that microbial life could exist high up in Venus clouds, where conditions are much less extreme. However, follow-up studies have cast doubt on these findings, and so far, no definitive proof of life on Venus has been found. Most scientists agree that Venus is one of the least likely places in the solar system to support life due to its hostile environment. Despite this, the possibility of life on Venus remains an intriguing topic of research. Some scientists have proposed that microbial life could potentially survive in the upper atmosphere, where temperatures and pressures are more moderate. These microbes would need to be highly resistant to the acidic conditions and capable of surviving in an environment with little to no water. Could humans ever live on Venus? In short, no. Venus is far too deadly for humans to live on its surface. However, some scientists have proposed the idea of floating cities in the upper atmosphere of Venus, where conditions are somewhat more tolerable. At about 50 kilometers, 31 miles, above the surface, the temperature and pressure are similar to Earth's, and with the right technology, floating habitats could theoretically be built. These floating cities would need to be designed to withstand the high winds and acidic clouds of Venus' upper atmosphere. One concept involves using airships filled with breathable air, which would naturally float at the right altitude due to the difference in density between Earth's atmosphere and Venus' atmosphere. However, such a project would face massive challenges, including the difficulty of transporting supplies and the need for constant maintenance to protect against corrosion. While the idea of floating cities on Venus is intriguing, it remains firmly in the realm of science fiction for now. The extreme conditions on Venus make it one of the most challenging environments for human exploration, and it is unlikely that humans will ever settle on this hostile planet. The most extreme planet in our solar system. Venus is undeniably the most hostile planet in the solar system. With its unbearable heat, crushing pressure, toxic clouds, and acidic rain, it remains one of the least hospitable places for life. Despite its dangers, studying Venus is crucial for understanding how planets evolve and why Earth remains habitable. While Mars is often seen as the best candidate for human exploration, Venus serves as a warning of what can happen when a planet experiences unchecked climate change. Understanding Venus could help us prevent a similar fate on Earth. This concludes our deep dive into why Venus is the deadliest planet in our solar system. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more space-related content. Venus mysteries and future exploration. Despite the challenges, Venus continues to fascinate scientists and space agencies around the world. Several future missions are planned to explore Venus in greater detail, including NASA's Veritas and Da Vinci Plus missions, as well as ESA's Envision mission. These missions aim to study Venus geology, atmosphere, and potential for past or present life. One of the key questions scientists hope to answer is whether Venus ever had liquid water on its surface. If evidence of ancient oceans is found, it could provide valuable insights into the planet's history and the conditions that led to its current state. Additionally, studying Venus' atmosphere could help scientists better understand the processes that drive climate change on Earth. Venus also has a unique rotation. Unlike most planets, which rotate counterclockwise, Venus rotates clockwise in a retrograde motion. This means that on Venus, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. The reason for this unusual rotation is still a mystery, but it is believed to be the result of a massive collision or gravitational interactions with other celestial bodies early in the solar system's history. As we continue to explore Venus, we may uncover new mysteries and gain a deeper understanding of this enigmatic planet. While Venus may be the deadliest planet in our solar system, it also holds the key to understanding the delicate balance that makes Earth a haven for life.